Let me share something you might not have heard before. There comes a moment in every man's life when you catch your own reflection, or perhaps even your own scent, and realize time has been marching on without asking your permission. If you've caught yourself wondering why your body feels or smells different these days, stick around, because we're about to explore 4 revealing signs of aging in men that most people never talk about openly. One you might even smell before you see it, another might surprise you in the mirror, and a couple more can change the way you move or feel on a daily basis. Don't go anywhere. By the end of this, you'll know exactly what these signs are, and more importantly, what you can do to manage them so that you stay as vibrant and confident as possible. When we think about getting older, we usually picture a few gray hairs or a couple of wrinkles, maybe a bit of stiffness in the morning, but there are some subtler, more surprising changes that can sneak up on you without warning. Have you ever put on a freshly laundered shirt only to sense a persistent odor that just doesn't seem to wash out? Or maybe you've seen a photo from a decade ago and realized your ears look different now compared to then. And what about that persistent belly that won't go away no matter how many times you get serious about your diet? We often chalk these things up to, it must be my age. But there's real science behind every one of these shifts. Before we dive in, take a moment to reflect. How many times have you worried if a new ache, a new smell, or a new shape in the mirror was something to be concerned about? It's easy to feel isolated or embarrassed when these changes start showing up. After all, we live in a world that glorifies youth, where aging is often treated like a problem rather than a natural, universal process. The truth is, some changes are simply part of life. Inevitable, yes, but also manageable if you know where they come from and how to address them. Today, we're zooming in on 4 key signs that often emerge in men over 50, 60, and beyond. For some guys, these signs might appear earlier or later, but sooner or later, they tend to make their presence known. The best part? Each of these signs comes with actionable steps you can take to feel more like yourself, stronger, sharper, and more in control. Let's jump right in. First up is one of the most surprising, and let's be honest, sometimes frustrating signs of aging. The new unexpected odor that can cling to your clothes and skin. If you've ever gotten a whiff of something musty or stale and realized that it might be coming from you, you're certainly not alone. In fact, there's a scientific name for it. Some people refer to it informally as old person smell, but the real culprit is a compound called non-enal. This substance forms when certain fatty acids in the skin get oxidized over time. Younger skin tends to regenerate faster, effectively washing away these oxidized fats before they can become a lingering issue. However, as we grow older, our skin's turnover rate slows down, allowing non-enal to build up. That's why you might catch that faint, slightly grassy or waxy scent that's very different from just normal sweat. Now, if you're thinking, that can't be me, I bathe every day, it's important to remember that typical soaps and body washes aren't always enough to neutralize non-enal. This compound can bond to fabrics like cotton, meaning your shirts might hold on to that aroma even after a laundry cycle. Some men think switching detergents or deodorants might solve the problem, only to be disappointed when the smell persists. While it's certainly not the end of the world, it can affect self-confidence, especially if you're spending time around grandkids, coworkers, or even going on dates. So what's the solution? There are special soaps formulated to combat non-enal more effectively than standard cleansers. These products often contain persimmon extract or other natural ingredients that specifically target oxidized fatty acids. Another useful step is tweaking your diet to include antioxidant-rich foods like berries, dark leafy greens, and green tea. By fighting oxidative stress from within, you can reduce the formation of these pesky compounds. And of course, don't underestimate the power of regular exfoliation and moisturizing. Keeping your skin healthy and hydrated can help it shed those dead cells more efficiently. If you've noticed that your laundry still retains a stale scent, try washing your clothes with a bit of baking soda or specialized odor removers. It's remarkable how simple changes can make a big difference in how you feel about your body as it ages. The second sign on our list is perhaps more noticeable physically. That stubborn belly that seems to grow despite your best efforts. How many times have you cut down on carbs, hit the gym for a month or two, only to see minimal results around your midsection. It's not your imagination. As men age, our hormone levels shift. Testosterone, in particular, starts to decline, which affects muscle mass and metabolism. When muscle mass goes down, you burn fewer calories at rest. The body also becomes more adept at storing fat, particularly around the abdomen, leading to that classic middle-age spread that can become a senior spread over time if not addressed. But let's talk about why this matters beyond appearance. Excess belly fat is a known risk factor for cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and even certain cancers. This type of fat, often referred to as visceral fat, wraps around your internal organs, releasing inflammatory chemicals that can harm your health. So while gaining a bit of weight over the years might seem inevitable, letting it accumulate in the belly can have serious repercussions. What can you do? First, don't underestimate the power of resistance training. Even if you aren't aiming to become a bodybuilder, light to moderate weightlifting or bodyweight exercises can help you preserve and even build muscle mass. More muscle means a faster metabolism. Second, focus on balanced nutrition. Ensure you're getting enough protein, which supports muscle maintenance, and cut back on processed sugars that spike insulin levels. Simple swaps, like choosing whole grain bread over white or snacking on nuts instead of chips, can add up over the long haul. And never forget the importance of regular movement. If formal workouts aren't your cup of tea, find activities you enjoy, like gardening, brisk walking, or even dancing. The key is consistency. Small daily habits have a bigger impact on that belly than sporadic bursts of dieting or exercise. I win. Moving on to our third sign of aging, one you might never suspect if you haven't compared old photos to recent ones. Your ears may be getting bigger. This might sound like something from a cartoon, but it's true that men's ears can appear longer or larger as the years go by. The science behind it is fascinating. The cartilage in your ears continues to grow slowly, and gravity also plays a role, pulling the ears downward over time. Add to that the natural loss of skin elasticity, and you have a recipe for ears that gradually lengthen or droop. You might notice your earlobes looking thinner, wrinklier, or just plain elongated. While this isn't typically a medical concern, it can catch you off guard, especially if you've always thought of yourself as having average-sized ears. You may see an old photo from a wedding or a family gathering and suddenly think, wait a minute, my ears didn't used to look like that. Indeed, many men first notice the change when comparing pictures taken decades apart. If this is something that bothers you, rest assured that you're not alone. While there's no way to halt cartilage growth entirely, you can keep your skin in better shape to minimize the drooping effect. Stay hydrated, protect your ears, and all your skin from excessive sun exposure, and consider using skincare products that support elasticity. Some men even opt for minor cosmetic procedures, though that's a personal choice. For most guys, it's enough to know that bigger ears are just a quirk of aging, something that doesn't impact overall health but can be a surprising reminder of time's slow but steady progression. Our fourth sign is a silent change that many men notice only after it starts affecting daily life: disappearing calf muscles. Have you ever been halfway up a flight of stairs and realized your legs aren't as strong as they used to be? Or maybe you tried to stand up from a low chair without using your hands and struggled more than you expected. Muscle atrophy is common as we age, especially in the lower legs, where declining testosterone, reduced activity, and poorer circulation all work together to shrink what used to be sturdy calf muscles. You might look down one day and see that your calves seem thinner or less defined, even though you haven't changed your habits drastically. The process is slow, so it can be easy to miss until you notice a real difference in how you climb stairs, walk long distances, or keep your balance. And that's the true concern here. Weak calves affect stability. Trips and falls become more likely, and your overall mobility can suffer. It's not just vanity that makes men want to keep their calves in shape. It's about staying independent and safe. So, how do you fight back? The good news is that targeted exercises can make a significant difference. Consider regular calf raises, standing on the balls of your feet and lowering back down slowly, to rebuild muscle fibers. Resistance bands are excellent too and easy to use at home. Brisk walks, especially on an incline, challenge your calf muscles more than flat surfaces. And of course, remember the importance of nutrition. Adequate protein intake, combined with essential nutrients like vitamin D and calcium, can support muscle maintenance and growth. At any age, the principle remains the same. Use it or lose it. The more regularly you challenge your muscles, the slower they'll be to fade. Not in the one's home. Now that we've covered these four signs, an unexpected odor that can cling to you, a stubborn belly that seems impossible to lose, ears that keep growing, and calf muscles that seem to disappear, you might be wondering what you can do to manage them all. First, embrace awareness. Simply recognizing these changes is the initial step toward addressing them positively rather than feeling blindsided. Second, consult professionals if something feels off. If the abdominal weight gain is extreme, for instance, it's worth discussing with a doctor to rule out underlying issues like metabolic disorders. If your calf weakness is profound, a physical therapist could guide you through specialized exercises. Third, remember that lifestyle matters more than any quick fix. Our bodies are incredibly adaptable, even in older age. When you supply them with the right balance of nutrition, exercise, and good habits, you'll be surprised by how well you can maintain strength, vitality, and confidence. For example, combine antioxidant-rich foods with a well-structured routine that includes gentle resistance training and plenty of movement. This layered approach helps mitigate each of the signs we've talked about, from controlling oxidative stress, which contributes to that aging smell, to boosting metabolism, helping tame the belly, and supporting muscle tissue in your legs, keeping your calves from vanishing. Consider also the role of hydration, sleep, and stress management. It's easy to dismiss these factors when talking about physical changes, but chronic stress and poor sleep can accelerate muscle loss, impair hormone balance, and even contribute to oxidative damage in your skin. A holistic approach, where you pay attention to your mental health just as much as your diet or exercise routine, often produces results that go beyond the superficial. You might find that you not only smell fresher and move better, but also feel calmer and more energetic overall. 3. Let's talk motivation for a moment. It can be disheartening to realize that the body you knew is evolving in ways you never anticipated. You might look in the mirror and say, well, this is just part of aging. There's nothing I can do. But that mindset can become a self-fulfilling prophecy, leading to even faster decline. The truth is, you don't have to accept all these changes passively. Sure, some of them are going to happen no matter what, like subtle cartilage growth in your ears. But the key question is whether you'll make the small, consistent efforts to manage the changes that are within your control. Imagine a future where you still engage in activities you love, playing catch with your grandkids, hiking, gardening, or even traveling with minimal physical limitations. That future is far more attainable when you address signs of aging proactively. Think of it like routine maintenance on a car. You wouldn't wait for the engine to seize up before checking the oil. Similarly, paying attention to your body's warning lights and making adjustments can keep you running smoothly for years to come. If you're concerned about cost or complexity, remember that many of the strategies we've discussed don't require expensive gym memberships or gourmet meal plans. Walking regularly, doing bodyweight exercises, drinking enough water, sleeping adequately, and introducing more whole foods into your diet are steps anyone can take at home. Adding a specialized soap or lotion to combat that subtle older scent costs about as much as any quality skincare product. The biggest challenge for most men is simply getting started and staying consistent. Once you make these practices part of your routine, they become second nature and the benefits start to accumulate. Let's do a quick recap to drive these points home. 1. The lingering scent. This comes from a natural compound called non-enol. It's tied to oxidative stress in aging skin. Combat it with specialized cleansers, antioxidant-rich foods, and proper hygiene practices, like exfoliating and wearing clean fabrics washed with odor-neutralizing solutions. 2. That growing midsection. Age-related hormonal shifts lead to easier fat storage around the belly. Fight back with strength training, balanced meals, and daily movement. Don't underestimate how much a simple tweak, like 20 minutes of weight-bearing exercise 3 times a week, can help keep your waistline in check. 3. Gradually enlarging ears. Cartilage never really stops growing, and reduced skin elasticity plus gravity can make ears appear bigger over time. While not usually a health concern, it's a reminder that your body continues to change in subtle ways. Basic skincare and sun protection can at least minimize sagging. 4. Shrinking calf muscles, reduced activity, lower hormone levels, and poorer circulation contribute to calf atrophy. Regular calf raises, walking on inclines, and consuming sufficient protein can slow or reverse this process, improving balance and mobility. Remember, these changes are not just cosmetic. A stubborn belly can signal deeper health risks. Declining leg strength can impede mobility and independence. Persistent body odors can affect social confidence. Acknowledging them is the first step in taking charge of your well-being. Assuranhung. Stunman. As we wrap up, ask yourself which of these signs resonates with you most right now. Have you experienced a shift in how your clothes fit? Noticed yourself getting winded more easily during everyday tasks? Become self-conscious about a new smell? Or maybe you've never even thought about your ears until now, but you're curious to dig out old photos to see if there's a difference. Sharing these experiences fosters a sense of community. Aging isn't something we should tackle alone, and hearing from others in similar situations can be both enlightening and comforting. Speak with your doctor, talk to a friend, or join an online forum where men discuss these same challenges. Sometimes a single piece of advice, like a favorite leg exercise or a recommended body wash, can shift your entire perspective. If you got value from this deep dive, consider passing it on to someone else in your life who might benefit. We men often keep our worries to ourselves, but opening up is one of the best ways to address common issues more effectively. And if you plan to implement any of these tips, whether it's adding more greens to your diet to fight oxidative stress or starting a simple calf raise routine in the morning, do it with consistency and patience. Change doesn't happen overnight, but small steps each day build into significant improvements over time. Thanks for staying with me through this discussion. The main point to take away is that aging, while inevitable, doesn't have to be a downward spiral. You can embrace these changes for what they are, signs that you've been on this planet gaining experience and wisdom, while also standing your ground against the ones that threaten your quality of life. The key is mindful living, regular exercise, proper nutrition, self-care, and a willingness to adapt. Whether it's controlling a new scent, trimming down that belly, accepting your changing ears, or building back your calf strength, you have more influence over your aging process than you might realize. Keep learning, keep moving, and keep looking out for simple yet powerful ways to maintain the body you've relied on all these years. Age is just a number, and armed with the right knowledge, you can make that number work for you. Let's continue this conversation. Share your own experiences, tips, or questions. Your insight might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to take control of their own aging journey. And remember, the best time to start is always now.